Last time on the FXNT Create 3 mod pack, I made the most realistic cobblestone generator in Minecraft. I also built a factory that converts all of that cobblestone into gravel and andesite, wrapping this entire area up, so now I'm ready to move on to the next area of this world. Almost. Today I've got a little bit of tidying up to do to finish off this area, as well as building a railway to our next location, which is in this direction. Over this little river, into this desert here, where there is a ginormous village full of villagers and village things, including, as I can see down there, a camel talking to an iron golem. And in this village, I'm gonna be making sand and sand-related items like concrete and glass and all of the different varieties of those. So I've got a lot of work to do to build a big old factory to do all of that, as well as getting the railway all the way across here and building station. Oh geez, I've got so much to do. But before we get to any of that, I have actually updated this mod pack, adding in a few more mods to enhance my experience within this world. But we're going to look at those later. Right now, it's time for me to get this area finished off and start building our track to our brand new area. Time-lapse already? The next 8 hours of my life involved a whole bunch of crafting to make a whole bunch of train track. But I also needed gravel. But not just any type of gravel, because I've already got machines for that. I needed dirty gravel, for which I used machines. After I'd got my dirty gravel, I then laid an elevated track all the way around mountainsides, over rivers and into the desert. Then I upgraded my track making machine, blasting the thing that it cuts through the ground and does stuff and makes it where I can put my track down later. It's very convenient. I then travelled through the desert on it, all the way past the village, and then I laid down a whole bunch of track all the way along there, over the little bridgey bit, under the little bridgey bit, and all the way back to the desert village. Once I'd done that, I used a little fence placing machine to place an extraordinary number of fences all the way down both sides of this track, and while that was going on, I may have accidentally a little bit done it a little bit too much at night time, which inevitably made holes in my track, which I then had to fix. But I'd save that till later. Other bits of the track I needed to fix were at the side of the track, so I fixed them, using speedy time-lapse, amazing moving about and fixing things quickly. I then had to get rid of all of the elevated track and get rid of the accidental temporary tunnel that I'd made because my machine wasn't tall enough. After that, I tidied up all of the sides of the track, fixed all of the fencing, went all the way backwards and forwards to the desert and back again, and then I even put lanterns down both sides of the track all the way to the end. And as a result, I now have an incredible train track that the desert villagers are going to be extraordinarily happy with.
What the hell is he doing? Oh well, there goes the neighborhood.
And there we go. The track to the desert is complete. Pretty much. There's a couple of bits I need, so I guess it's time that we took our little train for a little drive and see what it looks like from the train's point of view. Wasn't that amazing? That said, I do now need to build a siding and a power station so I can get this train plugged in again. But before I do that, this is probably a good opportunity for me to talk about the first new mod I've added to the mod pack. And it's very appropriate for what I've just been doing. So, a bunch of new mods then. What have we got? Well, we're going to start by looking at the Steam and Rails mod, which hasn't officially been updated to Minecraft 1.21, which is what I'm playing, but the community have done it for us, giving us access to so many cool things, including monorails. We've got narrow gauge track, wide gauge track, we've got hand cars as well as conductors to drive our trains for us. We've got a whole bunch of different style of bogies. We've got these funnels that actually blow smoke. We've got got a whole bunch of different types of headstocks and couplers. We've got train hulls, new blocks, track switches, and even these train couplers, which allow you to couple and decouple carriages without disassembling your train. And I think that's going to be very useful, and I can't wait to start using all of these things. And of course, there are a few more mods to look at as well, but we'll look at those in a little while. Well, steam and rails is going to be handy, isn't it? And the reason that I'm back here is because I need a ton of gravel now. And while I was doing all of that track laying work, I also had this brand new machine going in the background, generating a whole bunch of dirty gravel for me using this mechanical saw. And that's not a standard Create recipe or a standard chipped mod recipe, but I do have a data pack for it. So if you want that, let me know and I'll throw it in the Discord. But yeah, now we've got tons of dirty gravel, which is very useful because that's the stuff that lines the side of my train track. Anyway, I'm here for actual gravel though, which we've now got ridiculous amounts of. So let's grab a whole bunch of this and get building that lay-by siding thing. Basically, this bit of the track here with all of this gubbins on it to make it work, and obviously we're going to need a power station next to it as well. So the easiest thing for me to do at this point will be just to take a schematic of the entire thing, including all of the gravel, the fences, the lanterns, the girders, and all the wired up stuff, and then one of this power station as well, which I should already have because I just literally cloned this from our original power station in the first place. In terms of the siding, I could have it on the side of the track that's closest to the village, and it would be nice and neat that way, but it would also limit me if I wanted to make this longer at some point, i.e. if I have more industrial cars on my train, which I would like to have. So what I'm going to actually do is bring it right over to this side of the track instead and have it there, which is going to make it a lot easier for me to actually join the tracks together and to extend it in the future if I want it. There we go. I think that's just about perfect. So let's get this thing built. And the material list for this isn't too bad at all. In fact, I think if I was to put my main backpack there and my Create one there, that's probably got everything in it that we actually need, apart from a couple of gearboxes, a few shafts, and one train station. Well, I can easily make a handful of gearboxes and can very easily make some shafts. For a train station, I'm going to need a compass and then just one train casing, and there we go. Now we've got everything we need. Let's just throw all of those bits in there, put in the checklist again, and there we go. Everything is ticked. I see you. Don't you come near me. We're definitely going to need some gunpowder, so let's throw that in there. And I also need to make sure that we're replacing solid with empty, and that'll make sure it gets rid of all the sand that's going to be in the way of where this wants to be. And there we go. We're now ready to blast this siding into existence. And there it is, 100% complete. I just need to tidy up the ends and link the track to the other parts of the track, and then that bit's done. So it's time for the power station. So for the power station then, I actually need a whole bunch of stuff. I need the blaze burners, the ender tanks, faucets, tough gearboxes, flywheels, lightning rods, girders, steam engines, trussometers, and water wheels as well. So I'm going to be a few minutes collecting that. And while I do that, why don't you have a look at the next mod we've added to this pack? So the next mod I want to look at that we've added to this pack is the Create Encased mod, which is mainly just a visual mod. What this mod allows you to do is to re-encase your mechanical things like chain drive and gearboxes, and even presses and mixers and depots. It also allows you to encase chain conveyors as well as shafts and cogs and, well, gearboxes like I just said. Which means when you're making your Create mod factories, you can make them actually fit the design of the area that you're building in. And the one block that I really like from this mod is the configurable gearbox. The configurable gearbox is just a blank box when you place it down, but when you click on the side of it with a shaft, you can add a shaft to any side of this block. And that means, although it's very difficult to then put your shafts on because you can't click back on the same side, when you supply power to it, the power will come from all sides, which is perfect for a whole bunch of different builds that we'll be doing. And that's about it for the Create Encased mod. But of course, there are a couple more mods we're going to be looking at in a little while. Okay, I've collected all of the resources I need. The checklist is all ticked off apart from oak leaves. So let's get the cannon going again. Hurrah! And there we go. The power station is now done. However, to get it going, it's going to need a couple of things. First of all, we need to dig down underneath it, hop inside of here a little bit, and give that a little bit of water. And of course, we need to do that on the other side as well. And come to think of it, it did need one oak leaf block in order to cheese the water into itself through these faucets. So if I put that there, then yes, we're getting plenty of water. We're also getting some heat, which I don't really understand. Oh yeah, because the lava tank's there, but it's not coloured in yet. I need to colour that in. There we go. Lovely colouring. And of course, I need to colour the one in on the other side as well. And there we go. That one's coloured in. Now, for some reason, it hasn't done any of the shafts to actually attach the steam engine. So let's just get those in place. And of course, we'll need to do that on the other side as well. And there we go. We're now generating 131,000 stress units, which will be more than enough for this area. And of course, the first thing I need to connect is my train power station, for which I've done it. Oh, it's all the way over here. Not to worry. I'll just dig it down under the ground. It'd be fine. And there we go. Just a couple of minutes later, that's all going full speed. Now all I got to do is get it connected up to the track so that we can get our train in there, get that dismantled and working again, and then think about what I'm actually going to be doing today. Finishing off the ends of the sidings was just a case of digging out a little bit of sand, throwing down some gravel in the right shape, connecting up the tracks, and then just running some fence posts along the sides to make it all, well, finished off and look nice. Then all I needed to do was reverse the train up the track to the point where it could switch onto the siding, and then just pull it in forwards and get it all connected to power. But while I was doing that, there were some worrying rumblings happening in the village.
He's coming for our food! He's coming for our wives! He's coming for my sheep! He took my target things! What if he turns us into soup? What if he turns us into pies? What if he turns us into shoes? I don't want to be here! He's a madman! I've never seen something so industrial before!
And there we go. Everything is powered and now it's running again. Wonderful. Kind of. So, how are you going in the wrong direction? You've all got speed controllers on you. Now you've just taken the gold out. Oh, jeez. Ah, it's all going over the back. How are you allowing gravel through? You've got a filter on you saying no gravel. Oh, is the one from that side got lost? And for some reason, this one's not doing anything at all.
What's he doing now?
Struggling, I think.
We're all gonna die!
Right, anyway, now that's all done, let's have a look at the next mod that I've added to this mod pack. So back in my test world, the next mod we're going to be looking at that's been added to this pack is the Create Deco mod, which adds a whole bunch of aesthetic looking blocks and things, some of which I absolutely love and some of which I'll probably never use. I really love the iron mesh fences that you can have. I love the staircases and the handrail you can have, and I even like some of the glass and the doors. It also comes with a whole bunch of these cage lamps, which are fantastic, as well as all these different brick types for making your brick builds look more interesting. We've got tons and tons of these sheet metal looking pillar blocks, but of course one of the best things from these are the shipping containers, which are technically item vaults, and in the past when I've used these they do tend to forget everything they've got inside them. I haven't tested that in this version, hopefully that's fixed, but I'll probably be using these mainly for decoration rather than storing anything in. And there's a whole bunch more to the Create Deco mod than just those things, but way too much for me to show off in this little segment, which is exactly why I'm back here in the desert thinking about sand. Actually, I'm not. I'm actually thinking about food because I'm completely run out. So I need to go do some cooking. And I think this might be a good opportunity to take my train. I could take my train if it wasn't connected to these things. So let's disassemble it from the rest of them by breaking that track there. Then I can just reassemble the train as just an engine. Amazing. Then I can pop that bit of track back there, switch my train onto this track, and now I can ride it without having to worry about taking all those farms with me. Let's go! In fact, let's not go, because back at the beginning of this series, I said that I wanted my train to have a driver that would take me to specific destinations. And I think I know how I can do that. But can I do it before I starve to death? In order to do it, I'm going to need a conductor hat, which means I do need to be at my workshop. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to drive back to my workshop manually, then get some food, and then figure out how to make a driver. Let's go! Full steam ahead, little train! And here we are arriving at my destination. This is very convenient. Just pull up alongside the station there. Oh, look, I can walk straight onto the platform. That was convenient. Right, food. Oh, geez. And then drivers. Now I've got a ridiculous amount of ingredients for all of the different food types, except meat. But the one that we settled on before that was relatively easy to make, as well as incredibly nutritious, was of course stuffed pumpkins, which I can then use to make bowls of stuffed pumpkins. And for that I need rice, onions, brown mushrooms, potatoes, some form of berries, and some form of vegetables. Oh, and of course, we're going to need pumpkins. With these ingredients, I can throw them all into this cooking pot here. And here's my first one. What I have to do is then pop it down, and then I need to grab my bowls, and then I can just click it with my bowls, and I get 4 of those, and I can put them in there. And now I'm going to get fed. Wonderful. I've just got to do this a whole bunch more. But while those pumpkins are cooking, I might as well go and make myself one of those conductor caps. And for that, I need a precision mechanism, some string, and a saw. First of all, I need to put this piece of wool through this saw, which has turned it into an incomplete white conductor's cap. I can then come over to where I'm making all of this track here, give that a precision mechanism, that a bit of string, throw the hat into there, and now we should have a white conductor's cap. Now, heading over back to my train, if I then put down this piece of andesite casing like this and click it with a hat, we get a man. We get a lovely little conductor which can drive my train. Way better than a blaze burner, which we've actually currently got. I don't know why I made a man, because I've already got a driver. Anyway, the next part of this plan is of course train schedules. And for that I just need some sturdy sheet and some paper, which I could have sworn I had sturdy sheet. Well, I've got paper. Oh no, I do. I've got 8 pieces of it there. Wonderful. Now let's just craft ourselves some schedules. And this is where the complicated part comes in. You see, what I can get this man to do is travel to a station. And I just pick whichever station I want, give him the schedule, and he'll go to that station. But he's not going to go to the station I want to go to on demand, which is what I want him to be able to do. And for that, we're going to need post boxes. And what I can do with these mailboxes is, let's say I had a mailbox at this station here. Let's just pop it there for now. I can give it a name, and then I can tell the train, instead of to travel to a station, to deliver a package. And there's no option for where to deliver that package. It is just literally deliver package. So I can pop that on there, click the tick button. If I then put a package on the train with the address to the right mailbox, he'll come to that station and drop it off in the mailbox. Alternatively, what I could do is also, instead of using deliver package, have him retrieve package. But then we actually need an address on there. Or we could use the wildcard address, and then what we could do is have an automated system that automatically puts an item into the postbox of the station that I want to go to, and as soon as there's a package in there, my little driver will whip us away to the station that's got the package to pick up the package. Do I want a system where I have to put a package on the train, which is going to be relatively easy because I could just either put it in one of these chests or add a barrel on here so it's got packages, or I could set up automated systems at each one of the train stations to automatically fill the mailbox and then go pick those up. But how would that work? Well, my little friend, the way that would work is I would need some sort of redstone contraption that I could trigger remotely that would put things into these mailboxes. And unfortunately, redstone links don't have an infinite range. However, I do believe that redstone requesters do. So we could set up a tiny weeny little storage network at each one of these mailboxes and literally just have a stock ticker on each of the tracks and request a package to the station I want to go to. But that seems a bit complicated. Alternatively, we could make sure that the post boxes are chunk loading, put an ender chest above them, and one of these fancy ender storage ender chests, so if I put the right item in the ender chest, it could then go through a chute and into the mailbox, and that could work. But realistically, I think the simplest thing to do is just pop a barrel on the train and have 3 packages for each of the different stations in it. Whichever station I want to go to, just pop that package onto the train. Let's see if it works. I can't see if it works because there isn't actually a station at this station. So there we go. Let's pop a station marker down at the front of this station here, and then we'll just hide the station down there. We'll call this one Farm Station. And now what I need to do is actually link a mailbox to that station. Let's just pop that on there. And we'll call that Farm Station as well. Now let's make our schedule onto deliver package. But I don't have a barrel in here. So I'm going to have to dismantle the train before I can do anything. Let's move the train over in this direction. Let's dismantle the train. We don't need you anymore, sir. We do need to put a seat in front of the train controls, just like that. And we need to get rid of these. And let's for now just replace those with some barrels. Excellent. Right, now let's put the train back together again. Let's put the train on this line here. Grab myself a lead to connect to this little man. And then if I click the lead on that seat, he should now be driving. Excellent. So now let's give you the schedule. You are now my train driver, but you can't go anywhere because we don't have anything to deliver. So now I need a package with the correct address on it. That means I'm going to need cardboard, and to make cardboard, I'm going to need pulp. So let's just throw those saplings into there, give that a water bucket, and let's give it another one. Now we've got 8 pieces of pulp. I need to press those. That's not a press. This is a press. And with those, I can make 2 pieces of cardboard. Now, if I put a chest down here with a packager next to it and a sign on there saying Farm Station, and then pop a button on there, all I need to do is put a piece of cobblestone in there, click the button, and now I've got a package that's addressed to Farm Station. Wonderful. Right, let's go and see if this works. So if I put that in the barrel on the train should then go to this station. If I've done this right, pop that in there, the door's closed, and we are traveling to the station. It worked! We have arrived at the station. The barrel is empty. That means that the package has gone in the post box. I'm going to have to make sure that I remember to collect these. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to go back to the station I want to go to. So now all I need are 2 more stations at each of the other places we want to go to, and 2 more packages. And then what I need to do is actually connect the track at both ends to allow the train to do a big old loop in order to be able to turn around and go back in the other direction. Alternatively, I could just give the train reverse control so it could go forwards as well as backwards, which is exactly what I'm going to do because, yeah, making a big loop there would be a whole bunch of terrain flattening, which I'm not prepared to do right now. Okay, the next station I want the train to come to is, of course, our wood station, and I think instead of actually just putting a new station down here, we might as just well use this one from the siding, so we'll call that one Wood Station. And then, of course, we need one over here, which we've already got, but if we send it to this one, it's going to crash into those things. So I think for now, what we'll do is just pop a temporary station down here and call that one Sand Station. And of course, I completely forgot to connect the mailbox to the wood station. But we can connect to this one, so let's just click that there, and then we'll just throw the postbox, I don't know, over here somewhere. It has to be close. Oh, and we want to make sure these are in the same chunk so we don't have any problems like that, and they are. Excellent. Good. And using FTB chunks, we can just make sure that this chunk is always loaded just so that there's no problems with it remembering where it is. And back at Wood Station, I've decided I don't want this as the Wood Station in case my train is actually here being connected to this. I don't want to drive into it, so we're going to have a separate station over here. We'll do exactly the same thing. Wood Station, connect to postbox, name it Wood Station, and let's just make sure that this chunk is loaded, and that should all work. The last thing I need to do is craft some more train controls, pick my train up again and move it so we can disassemble it without it sticking to other things like my station. Disassemble the train, pop in a set of reverse controls there, reassemble the train, give man his schedule back, and now if I want to go to the desert, I just need to pop in this package, which is Sand Station, and off we go. It's working! Well, now I can just get to sit and look out of the window. It's amazing. You're doing a good job, driver. Now, at the moment, this train is pretty slow. I want it to go faster. And the way I can do that is to grab myself a little bit of coal and actually throw this in the other barrel, and it should be able to... There we go. It's going loads faster now. Oh, geez. It's so fast I've slid off my seat. But yes, the train goes much faster once it's got coal, which means I'm going to arrive at my destination much more quickly. It worked. I did it. Right, now I need to get the package back out of there. Hop back on the train. Now I want to put in the farm station because, of course, I've got a whole bunch of cooking to do. So let's sit on the seat and watch this train go backwards very quickly. Ah, wonderful. And there we go, we arrived. It all worked perfectly. Right, I've got a whole bunch of cooking to do, and while I do that, why don't I show you the next mod that I've added to this mod pack? So back in my test world, there's just one more mod that I've added to this mod pack. Technically there's 2, but one of them doesn't really count. And that mod is the Create Design and Deco mod, which is just like the Create Deco mod in the fact that it adds a whole bunch of different varieties of brand new blocks as well as varieties of existing blocks. It adds a whole bunch of different floor pattern type blocks. It adds some metal bricks and velvet blocks of different colors. We've got stone metals, weathered limestone, packed mud bricks, which are slightly different from the normal small ones. We've got a whole bunch of pillar blocks and some glass as well. We can also have different color flywheels, different color millstones. We've got these cog wheels. We've got different color crushing wheels, large chain blocks. We've got step levers as well as this red deep slate tiles and these crossbolt looking things, which are very interesting. It also adds different colors of display boards as well as metal supports and a diagonal metal supports, which I also very much like. But I think the block that I like the most is probably these big, large metal girders and these diagonal girders. These are absolutely fantastic, allowing you to basically up your girder game and make much more substantial looking structures. Yes, I very much like these. And that's it for all of the Create add-on mods that we've added to this mod pack. But there is one more mod, and that is FTB chunks, which basically gives me a nice easy way to force load chunks without having to run the force load command and getting confused as to which chunks I've loaded and which ones I haven't. Oh hey, you're back! Just in time to watch me absolutely decimate all of these pumpkins with all of these bowls. I'm gonna have so much food, it's gonna be incredible. There we go, all of the pumpkins are done. How many did I get from that? Let's add them all together, and we got 255. Amazing. Right, and on that note, I think it's time for us to go back. It's time to go to bed. What I was gonna say is it's time for us to go back to the desert and start working on this sand stuff. Take me to the desert, man. This is the life. But my own personal driver, it's wonderful. Cheers, mate. Wait a minute, that's not a cactus. Anyway, sand. How hard could it be? What could possibly go wrong? It's like one of the easiest things in the world to... Oh my goodness. You guys, do you know what? You guys are all going to die. It's all right panicking and telling everybody in the village, oh, I'm going to die. You are literally going to die if you keep doing that. Stay within the confines of your village, sir. Jeez. And that gives me an idea. What if, instead of making sand machines today, we built a giant sandcastle around this village to stop the villagers getting out and the bad things getting in? All we need is just lots of walls made of sand and sandstone to make it in keeping with the theme. And yes, that should stop everyone escaping. That seems like a reasonable thing for me to do, and it means that they're all going to be well protected. So in terms of sand production, concrete, stained glass, and all of that good stuff, well, I guess that's going to have to wait for next time. That being said, I don't actually have much sand to build a sandcastle out of. 4,000, so 1,000 sandstone. That's not going to be anywhere near enough. Okay, we are going to have to build a sand machine, but the rest of the stuff can happen later on. Now, because we're in a desert, it would kind of make sense in order to generate sand for us to build some sort of quarry to dig the sand out of the desert. But I kind of feel like I'm going over old ground doing that, because of course we've got a quarry which gets us our cobblestone. So I don't really want to rip off my own ideas. I want to come up with something new. But because this episode's already taken a little bit of a turn in terms of I want to build a sandcastle, I think a temporary sand solution for now will be just what we need. So what I'm going to need to do to keep this as absolutely simple as possible is just crush an absolute ton of gravel and then press an incredible amount of sand. So I need gravel, crushing wheels, and presses. Now, in terms of gravel, I think we've already got quite a lot we can start getting through. Yet nearly 300,000 of it. So that's not going to be an issue. We don't have to make a load of gravel, or we don't have to process any cobblestone. We just need the crushing wheels and the presses. And to make crushing wheels, I just need to throw some andesite in there, put some wood in there, a little bit of stone in the middle, and there we go. We've got 2 already. Let's make a whole bunch. And so that just leaves presses, which we can actually do cheaper. The normal press recipe is a block of iron, andesite casing, and a shaft, but if we were to make industrial iron presses or weathered iron presses, we no longer need the casing, which means it's not going to cost us any wood or andesite alloy. So I'm going to pop away my andesite casing, grab myself some industrial iron, and build some industrial iron presses. Wonderful. Amazing. So back at the desert, in order to build this, I am going to need a few conveyors, which means I need belt, and I only have 3 pieces left, and I've got hardly any kelp left at all. So I think it's time we went swimming and tried, oh jeez, this ocean's not the sort of ocean you get kelp in. Oh man. Finally, eventually, I have found some kelp next to this quaint little acacia village. Let's just land here for a second. Have a little nap, of course. No, can't nap. There's a creeper at the door. We'll go down here and have a nap instead. I'm looking at the map. I started here. I went all the way around there, all the way around there, and I'm finally all the way down here. And it looks like we've got exactly what we need, which is amazing. So I'm just going to gather a whole bunch of this stuff. And there we go, 1,760. That should be plenty to get started with. Right, let's go back to the desert. And while I make my way across the desert to go back to where we came from, I don't mind if I do stop at a couple more structures and rinse them for everything they're worth. Oh, look, mechanical arms track, chests with things in, more mechanical arms, speed controllers, more chests with things, and a load of skull and echo shards, apparently. Right. Fair enough. Oh no, I stuck. Give me a... Oh, there we go. Oh, and look, another structure that I can just completely demolish, and this one's got azurine and things in it. I'll take it. And back in the desert, I declare this spot here a perfectly good temporary spot to get lots and lots of sand and stuff. The first thing I need to do is pop down this ender storage chest, which is currently not the right one, and now I've got to try and remember the color code that I have for gravel. Now, they all start with black, and I'm pretty sure it was grey then light grey, but it wasn't. Was it light grey and light grey? No. In that case, perhaps it was grey then grey. It was not. It would be much easier for me to look on my train, which is my gravel box, and it is white then light grey. Of course it is. That makes so much sense. Okay, let's try that again. White, then light grey, open it up, and many gravel. Excellent. So now we've got a source of gravel. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to have our ender chest. Below that, we'll have a smart chute, and this is going to drop onto a belt. Let's just bring this across here for now. We don't actually need it that long. It's then going to go through 6 different tunnels, and out of each one of these tunnels, we're going to have a belt coming out this... No, not like that. We're going to have belts coming out in front of them like this. And then we just pop the belt on to actually make those join up with our tunnels. And then we're going to add some more shafts here, and we're going to go up on a diagonal. So let's just bring that all the way down there, and this one all the way back here. This is not the most efficient way of doing things, but it's going to be the fastest way of me just producing things very, very quickly. At the top of these, we're going to add on 6 more smart chutes, and then underneath these, we can just put one set of crushing wheels there like that, and the other set of crushing wheels just there like that. Then we can force all of those to go straight into these chutes here, where we're then going to have a few more belts, just like that. And then we're going to put these presses on top of this belt, but we're just going to have 4 of those because we do want to collect some normal sand as well. And then all of this can come back along the belt this way, and then just go into a little storage system where we can store sand and sandstone. Hey, no fire. Now look what you've done. You've meated all over the floor. Then we just need a funnel going into the back of that. We can use one of our new add-ons to make all of this look nice and snazzy with this weathered iron. Snazzy? Yeah, it's very snazzy. Look how snazzy it is. What does that mean? It means snazzy. The snazziest belt I've ever seen, mate. Oh, I love them. Snazzy belts. Stop saying snazzy. Oh, I can't help it. Just too snazzy. To stop things coming out of there, we need to put a block there, and just in case everything runs backwards by mistake, so we're going to put a load of blocks there, and then we're going to put one final block there to stop things shooting out underneath that. Now all we need for this is power. So let's pop over here. We'll run a little bit of chain drive in between those that can power the belts, as well as both of those crushing wheels. Of course, these presses are going to need powering. So we'll throw a shaft in there and just bring that up there to power those. And of course, all of these things are going to need powering together as well. So we can bring those down there. And then if we just pop power, I guess, possibly into here somewhere from our power station, we should be good to go. So let's grab some power from our power station. We'll bring that out this way a little bit. And then we continue bringing it out all the way to here. We'll stick on a speed controller, put it on maximum, and then all I need to do is stick one of those there, one of those there, make sure that's going in the right direction, which that one is, but everything else is the wrong direction, so this was wrong. Now I've done it this way, it's going to be very difficult to make it right, so... oh, geez. Okay, let's get rid of that, and that, and that. Spin that one round, bring that back that way, change the direction of our speed controller, pop that there like that, and now what we can do is use 2 gearboxes, to get that going the right way. Wonderful. And then I just need to snazzify that bit. There we go. That's snazzy. That's snazzy. That's now snazzy. That's snazzy. These are snazzy. Oh, it's also snazzy. Let's make sure these are nice and snazzy. Oh, they're going the wrong way around though, the crushing wheels. So what we're actually going to do with that, take those away, even though they were very snazzy, and bring that belt back a block, snazzify it. That means we can take that back a block, pop a shaft in there, and then if we do it this side, hopefully that means these will go in the right direction. Where's my snazzy blocks? There they are. I can't really tell. I think they are. It's going too fast for me to tell, so I guess we'll find out in a minute. Anyway, a bit more snazzy to do over here, a little bit more snazzy to do there. Wonderful. Everything is snazzy. Can I make that? Oh, let's make those different kind of snazzy. Ah, it's also snazzy. Right, so let's just test this then. If I throw on a stack of gravel there, that's going to get split between those. It's all going to get crushed. Oh, and that's not... Oh, jeez, I forgot about the... Oh, you haven't made... Oh, okay, a couple of mistakes were made. I completely forgot we needed basins. In order to press this sandstone, we actually need to put basins on these belts. So let's just get rid of those for a second. Pop those basins on there instead. On the back of these basins, we're going to need these funnels. And then we can have the presses on top of those with a little bit more chain drive going there. And of course, we need to stick a shaft in there to get that connected to that. So now those should be able to press the sandstone. And then all we've got to do is actually make this belt go in the right direction, which I should be able to do with a simple gearbox like that. That's also very snazzy. Excellent. Good. Now everything's coming towards this. Going to need a couple more drawers for all of the other things that end up in it. Now let's go chuck a bit more gravel in there and see if we actually get any sandstone. So that can go on there. They can all get split there. I don't know what happened there. I really don't. Are the crushing wheels going the wrong way? I think the crushing wheels are going the wrong way round. No, it turned out I just needed to have them back on the side that I started with. That was weird. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is change all of these to be on forced split so we get the same amount out of each side. Let's put that back on many speed, throw another stack of gravel on there and see what happens this time. Hopefully it won't all come popping out, and there we go. Now we're making sandstone. Amazing. That sandstone should have gone in there. It did. Let's just filter these for sandstone to make sure it doesn't make anything else. Pop those back in there. And then the other thing we need to be concerned with now is the fact that we're going to get flint and clay balls coming through here, which we don't want just clogging up these. And I'm wondering if I put one of those on there and then filter those for clay and flint, that should work. Grab myself some filters, clay and flint. Oh, and sandstone, I guess. And we'll pop all of those on there like that. And now we just need to do one more test, and I think we've cracked it this time. Let's send all of those through there, make sure everything is going to work properly. It is. Everything came out of there. That's good. And everything's gone in here. That means I can now grab my smart chute and stick it under there. And now we're going to be making many sand things. This is incredible. However, this doesn't work because it doesn't like going in through the side. So I've got yet more changes to make. Let's get rid of that. Get rid of these. Get rid of this belt. And we'll just bring all of these back one. Put the tunnels on there, and now all I need to do is just move this ender chest, pop that funnel on there, put that ender chest there, and now this should respect if I do forced split, and that should mean we get the same amount coming through on each lane, and we won't get any of that weirdness we just had a second ago where it was only running on 2 of the lanes. Excellent. Good. Look at it go. We're making loads of sand. This is incredible. Now, there's a couple more things I want to do to this to give us a larger variety of sand. At the moment, all of the sand is exactly the same. And to be fair, that's what the village is made out of. But thanks to the chip mod, we've got access to all sorts of different sands, including soft sand, desert sand, and things like that. We also have access to a whole range of different sandstones as well, which will be very nice for making a sandcastle with. So I think at this point what I actually want to do is get rid of the output of this and put these mechanical saws in front of each one of our lines to generate us a unique different type of sandstone from each one of the lanes. So the first thing I've done is actually extend all of this by 1. So we've now got 3 sets of plain crushing wheels and still our 4 ones for the sandstone. Next, what I want to do is actually put some of these saws down in front of these, if I can get them to face in the right direction, but I only want these for those ones because we want to keep normal sand. We also want to keep normal sandstone, but in terms of sand varieties, I want desert sand on one of these, probably soft sand on another, And then for the sandstone, I think I'm going to have small sandstone bricks on one, pillar sandstone bricks on another, and then maybe laid sandstone bricks. I think they could be quite nice. I think I'd also quite like cut sandstone, which I can actually get by pressing 4 more sandstone. But that does mean I need yet another layer of all of this. So I'll be back in a minute. Well, this could be it, but I'm not 100% sure. We've got another couple of lanes, we've got more crushing wheels, and now we've got 5 basins to start with. 2 are just making pure sandstone, and the other 3 are going to be making the sandstone varieties. We've got 3 lanes for just sand. Of course, 2 of those are going to be making sand varieties, and 1 is just plain sand. And then 1 of the sandstones is actually going to get turned into the cut sandstone. But, of course, we're going to have flint and gravel flying through this as well, so anything could happen. I do need to pop a funnel on there. There we go. Everything is now plugged in. It is all running. These are not on, well, they are on 4 split. I guess there's just not enough gravel coming out of that ender chest at once to feed it all, but we'll worry about that in a minute. But what's happening down here? Are we getting the different varieties? We certainly are for the sand, but absolutely nothing is happening with these at the moment because they're not spinning. And that's because I need to pop a shaft right in there. There we go. Now all of the presses are spinning. We're getting the varieties through there, but we're not getting anything at all happening with this one for some reason. Now it is, but oh, it's coming through on the wrong belt. Okay, let's spin that round. And I think what I'm going to need in order to make this actually work properly is at least 1 more ender chest, because this is just not feeding the way I expected it to across here. If I just put that on normal split, is that going to work better? I guess so. There we go. Now the belts are all full. That's better. And we've got a lot of stuff coming through here. In fact, so much stuff is backing up, which is not ideal. But we are getting all of the different varieties of everything except for this. And that's just because it's backed up. Jeez. Okay, there's a nice, easy way to fix this. We're going to add another belt on here. We're going to move the clay balls to under there and put another interface on there. Then we need another funnel going in the back of that one. And then I need to stop everything before I make a big mess. So let's just turn that off a second. Come back round here. And we're going to shorten this belt significantly so that we're just doing basically half and half. And then we're going to extend these belts so that they meet up with this one. Then we can get rid of that, pop it there instead. Make sure we snazify everything once again. And we need it all very snazzy, of course. And now if we plug it back in, everything should be able to filter through a whole bunch quicker. And that means looking at our little system here, we are amassing a whole bunch of each different type of thing, which is exactly what we wanted. And things are coming in thick and fast. That's absolutely ridiculous. Although I really want to filter away all of that clay and flint. And there's a nice easy way of doing it. I just need to dig a hole underneath and make mini fire. So all I'm going to do underneath these belts here is stick on some more smart chutes. Each one of these is going to have a filter that says clay balls and flint. Then I'm just going to dig another block down and just make a little bit of fire. And that means now when I turn the machine back on, none of that pesky flint and gravel is going to be getting in our ways, because they should pretty much all get sucked up by these as they go past. Let's keep our eye on it. Yes, it's only sand getting in the basins now. Oh, this is excellent. That's exactly what we needed. No more pesky flint. No more pesky clay. Well, I really wasn't planning on making such an elaborate sand making machine today, but I tell you what, I'm glad I have, because this means I'm going to be able to build an epic sandcastle in the next video.